Conspiracy is a proud member of the Alberta Podcast Network, locally grown and community supported. For other fun programming, please check out albertapodcastnetwork.com, where you can find shows like I Love This, You Should Too.
Just a brain full of Olympic trivia.
No, definitely not.
Olympic trivia and Michael Keaton trivia. You love Michael Keaton. I know you do.
I do. I'm just like, what does he got to do with the Olympics?
I don't know, but I know you love Michael Keaton.
He's Batman.
Yeah, I know, dude. He's so good. All right. So this is our Olympics special. Yay. Welcome back, everyone, to It's a Conspiracy. This is the podcast where we lay out the beliefs behind selected conspiracy theories, alternative accounts, legends, myths, and more. I'm your host, Andrew, and I do not claim to be an expert on anything we're going to discuss today, and we'll probably be wrong about everything because, and maybe you guys are feeling this too, I am choking on the fire smoke. Are you guys choking on the fire smoke?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's pretty brutal. Yeah.
It is thick, like pea soup here in Edmonton.
It wasn't as bad as it was a few years ago, though.
Yeah, it's been worse, but man, it's kind of scary because it's like, you're like, oh, I hope everybody's okay. That's a lot of smoke. Yeah. Anyways, real smoky, just kind of campfire all the time. I can feel it in my voice right now. I'm like, hey, guys.
And you smell like a hot dog and kubasa.
Yeah, which normally I like that smell, but all the time. I don't know about that. If you'd like to see where we dug up whatever award-winning pirouettes we're about to throw down on the sweat mats, then please check out the resources in the episode description. Charlie, that Russian gymnast, is a champion in both the Winter and Summer Olympics. He can win. You can win. Greg can win. We can all win. Yay! Lastly, we are a proud member of the Alberta Podcast Network. Locally grown, community supported, and awesome. Yay, team. They can win too. Yay. You can check us out at itsaconspiracypodcast.com. Our Twitter, at isitaconspiracy. That's run by the social media influencer, The Irish Madman. Our Facebook group, our Instagram page, It's a Conspiracy Podcast. That's run by Greg. Our email and our Patreon page, patreon.com/It's a Conspiracy. Charlie, you are all over that soundboard tonight. I love it. All right. Now, joining the online distance communication time today is Charming Charles and Gorgeous Gregs. This gruesome twosome are going to interject as they see fit. And I'm excited for the comments.
Much happiness.
Yeah.
Always.
And you're all over that board, Chunks. Like you're
just call me
Charlie Screen.
That's it. Cut him out. Get him out of here. He's done.
Yeah.
He's done. He's done. Get him out of here. I don't want him anymore.
Now, Charlie, normally we do a yes or no for this. What I was thinking was, instead of saying yes, you can say goal. And instead of saying no, you can say denied. Okay, now with a goal or denied, can you tell me if you've heard of quadrither of these theories?
So many. Let's go.
Number 1, 10 fun facts about the Olympics.
Goal.
Number 2, what do those Olympic rings mean anyway?
Denied.
Number 3, a Russian moment of Greg with Greg.
Woo.
Golden? Denied?
Goldeneyed. Number 4, the ancient Japanese Olympics curse.
Denied.
Okay. Well, you're not going to be denied subject 1. Okay, here's 10 fun facts about the Olympics. Oh, the Olympics. It seems to happen more often the older you get. I don't know if that's just me. When I was a kid, I swear it was like once a decade, and now it's like, it's the Olympics again. That's kind of neat. Wasn't the Olympics last year? What's going on here? So
wasn't it when you were a kid, it was every year? Like they did the Summer and Winter Olympics?
Oh, dude, when I was a kid, it was every 4 years because I'm old enough that it was still on the same.
Yeah, well, they used to do the same winter and summer in the same year.
And now it's like every time I turn around, yeah, it's the Olympics. Oh, it's
how old are you again? 62?
69.
Yeah.
Anyways, as you get older, the Olympics seem to happen more and more often. I realize that's the way math works, and that's that's just maths. A little known fact, not a fun one by any stretch, is that Charlie dresses up in his figure skating uniform to watch the finals every time the Olympics are on. It's been decades since he hung up his skates, but he does relive those ice dancing glory days every couple years. I know it's sensitive. I know you could have been the next Elvis Stoico, and I know it's a bit of a hot button issue, but I just,
It's just so hard to see.
yeah, it's just time to let that go.
Relive.
Charlie,
every
you'll
year.
always be my dancing queen. Young and free. Only 37.
The first Olympics were held in 8th century Greece at Mount Olympus. Not really, but a place called Olympia. It's just a place called Olympia. This tradition, which featured a shocking amount of nudity, so at the time all participants were completely nude, and was surprisingly well cataloged until about the 4th century AD, when it was declared, probably because of all the nudity, to be a pagan festival by that wet blanket Emperor Theodosius.
You mean that the nudity was well cataloged?
Everything, yeah, they have paintings and like writings about it, and everybody was like, it's awesome, they're all
They
naked.
probably put clothes on because of Winter Olympics, and who wants to skate in the
You can't
nude?
do a naked Winter Olympics.
Oh, dude, it was at Mount Olympus. Olympia! And it went for like 6 months when it was back in the day.
They could really go back then.
Yeah. Number 2, the Olympics are the first modern Olympics were held back in 1896, back in Greece. The world collectively thought it was about gosh darn time to get that old girl fired up again, and it became a rotating event every 4 years. It wasn't until 1900 that women were allowed to participate, and shockingly, it wasn't until 2012 that all participating countries sent female athletes. Can you guys believe that? So up
what
until
did the
2012,
women-
countries, well, they were just
women
they were like, we're
compete
not
again?
sending any ladies to this. Until 2012, there were still some holdouts.
If you do not remember the East German Women's League, they were there the entire time back in the 80s.
They were. So I do, and we were just talking about the Swedish curling team. But what it is that
Not Swedish curling team, just the entire East German Olympic team that were ladies.
okay, yeah, I'm not saying they weren't there. I'm saying they were allowed to participate after 1900, but it wasn't until 2012 that all of the participating countries sent female athletes.
Oh, okay.
Right.
So it's still not compulsory. Got what
It's
you're
not compulsory, no, but like it was up until even in like 2010, I guess, would be the Olympics prior. Not all countries that were participating in the Olympics sent a female representation. Number 3, the Olympics are from 1924 to 1992. What a year. The Winter and Summer Olympics were held on the same year. Since then, they have been cycled so that there'll be an Olympics every 2 years. This year is an exception to that, as it will only be 1 year between the Summer Olympics and the Winter Olympics. So we get the Summer Olympics like in a couple days, and then we'll get the Winter Olympics next year. Yay, good times. Good Olympic times. Number 4, the Olympics are the official languages of the Olympics are English, French, and whatever the native language or languages of the host country is. So if it's in Italy, then it's Italian. This can get problematic as a number of countries do have more than 1 or 2 languages. In Canada, we get thinking we're pretty fancy because we have 2 languages, but China, for example, has over 300. So maybe Canada can start doing better and getting more languages. There you go. Yeah, burn. Number 5, the Olympics are... The Olympic torch itself is a massive ceremony, and it involves a massive relay to the host city. However, it is still customarily lit during an ancient ceremony in Hera, Greece, by actresses dressed as Greek goddesses. In its travels, the torch has been transported by people running, on horseback, underwater, in a canoe, and this is amazing, by camel. Oh, isn't that great? Wouldn't it be fun to travel by camel?
How do you get that camel to balance in your canoe?
Number 6, the Olympics are solo synchronized swimming, the tug of war. Charlie, that's your favorite sport?
Hey,
Hot air ballooning.
I practice that every day.
Dueling pistols, tandem bicycles, and live pigeon shooting are no longer sports in the Olympics, but they were. Tug of war used to be an Olympic sport. For some bizarre reason, town planning was an Olympic sport between 1928 and 1948.
Town planning?
Town planning. It was awarded to the architects for their artistic inputs into the host facilities.
How
So
quick
it's
can you
nice
erect a
Olympic
new
village.
town?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
You get the Olympic Village was a gold medal or a bronze medal or no medal. So, yeah, they stopped doing that in 1948. Number 7, the Olympics have been hosted by 23 different countries, and foggy London town, bloody old Blighty, has the record for an astonishing 3 times. 1908, 1948, and 2012. Geez, guys, why don't you give someone else a chance to have the Olympics?
Why are you hugging all the Olympics there?
Yeah, you don't have to hog them all.
Come
London,
on.
do better. Come on. Yeah. Number 8. The Olympics gold medals are actually made out of silver medals. So there's this rampant belief that the awards are forged from pure gold by Lucifer himself in the bowels of hell, but they're actually silver and have been since 1912, when it was noted how idiotic it was to spend that much money on that many medals when you can make something look really nice in gold and it doesn't have to be a big chunk of gold.
I love gold.
Go one step further and just get the ones that have the chocolate in the middle.
Oh,
Then you get the award and a tasty treat also.
Ching.
Number
Saving
9.
money.
You're making money on that deal, man. Number 9, the 2020 Olympics were delayed, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit here, but there have been ones that have been just flat out canceled. 1916, 1940, 1944. In each of those 3 cases, it was due to the First World War I and the Second World War II that all the world was fighting at the time. So they were like, now's not the time for the Olympics. So they canceled them thrice. Almost this recent one, but this one was just postponed. Number 10. Look at that. 10 fun facts. Oh, amazing.
Hey, Andrew.
Yes, sir.
What was the first one again?
Oh.
No, you gotta wait. You gotta wait. That should have came. Whatever.
My blood
was
pressure,
so funny.
man. The Olympics this is an amazing name, Dimitrios Loundras won a bronze medal at the 1896 Olympics for gymnastics. The remarkable thing about this is that he was only 10 years old at the time.
What?
He maintains the world record for youngest Olympian. So
What did
10
he
years
do?
old.
What
He
did
was
he
a
do?
gymnast. He did the gymnastics. He was a
Bedwetting?
fantastic gymnastic. Their bedwetting is not a gymnastic activity.
Well, then what have I been training for?
The youngest gold medalist was an American girl named Marjorie, I think it's Gestring, and she was a swimmer. And I love this one here. The oldest medalist was a Swedish pistolier. Imagine having that on your business card.
Yeah.
Just, what do you do for a living? You know, pistolier, good sir. The oldest medalist was a Swedish pistolier named Oscar Swan, who won a silver medal at the age of 72. Now, that's pretty great. At that age, he should be given medals just for making it to the bathroom by himself.
Oh, that's so mean.
Oh, that is mean.
Tarnish his good reputation.
That's a very mean-spirited thing to say. Anyway, that's
It's funny, but like, come on, man.
Oscar. You know what? I'll bet you didn't want to be anywhere near him making those insults.
oh no, fill me full of holes.
That's right.
Or he'd pee on you.
Swiss cheese.
Wow. And that's 10 fun facts about the Olympics. And that's ad number 1.
This episode of It's a Conspiracy is brought to you by Taproot Edmonton, which publishes curiosity-driven stories, topical newsletters, and locally focused podcasts, all in the service of informing Edmontonians about their community. Want to start your day informed? Check out The Pulse, Taproot's new daily news briefing. The Pulse tells you what you need to know about Edmonton every weekday morning. You'll get short, informative updates about what's happening in City Hall, plus coverage of business, tech, food, the arts, and more. You'll also get a little bit of whimsy from features such as A Moment in History, Chart of the Week, and the Friday Podcast Pick. And it's free. Sign up today at taprootedmonton.ca/pulse. That's taprootedmonton.ca/pulse.
Subject number 2. What do those Olympic rings mean anyway?
Hello?
Okay, now either of you, without looking, do you think you guys can tell me, first of all, how many rings are in the Olympic logo? Without looking, Charlie, I can see you Googling on there. I can see the reflection in your glasses.
That's my ring light.
He's looking.
I said it without even looking. 7.
7 rings. Okay, Charlie, how many rings?
5.
5. Okay, there are in fact 5. Okay,
Fuck that noise.
yeah. I think I know why you think it was 7 though.
Because there's
So
4
how-
on top.
Can you guys tell me what the colors of the rings are?
Black, yellow, green, red, white, and blue.
How
You're
many did
close.
you just say?
There
I
is
said
no
5.
yellow. Yeah,
I said 7 actually because I went with 7.
Yellow, red, blue, black, green.
yeah. There's no yellow.
Oh, what?
Yeah, I know.
what-
There's-
Why
there's
would you
an-
not have a
there's-
golden ring?
There's an orange, and we'll talk about this. There's no
Now you're cutting hairs
It's
there,
a
big guy.
golden
yellow and orange are not the same thing. Charlie bit my head off one time because I was like, "It's pink." He's like, "Oh, excuse me, it's fuchsia." Or whatever. it's just like
Chartreuse
salmon.
is not green,
Yeah,
it's
oh.
yellow.
It's a Fargate.
Yeah. So, anyways, it's blue, black, red, orange, and green. The Olympic rings consist of 5 interlocking rings, like an overly complicated Venn diagram, contrasting what shall pass and what shall not pass according to Gandalf. Now, we all know that Balrogs from Morgoth shall not pass, but other than that, it's a little unclear. So just, yeah.
You're gonna have to actually make that Venn diagram so that we can put it on the socials. 'Cause I got to see it to believe it. I'm a little confused.
It gets complicated.
Yeah.
But again, Balrogs, no pass.
God, I want to say a Balrog with like what do they call those things? Brass knuckles, but they're made of the Olympic rings.
Yeah.
If you could do that
Oh,
for
that's a
me,
good one.
I'd be all
And if you
over
got
it.
him chasing after you, that's a Balrog blitz.
Oh!
I think Charlie.
All right,
you got
guys,
some
I'm
work
out
to
of here.
do.
This show just got too funny.
Once we hit a certain level of funny, we have to be like, "Hey, call her quits.
Pack it up.
Let's never
There's
record
too
an
many
episode
people
again."
in the room. Get out of here.
Anywho, 1913, Pierre de Coubertin was asked to design the official logo for the Olympics.
He drew
Each
5
show-
circles and called it a day.
He chose 5 connected circles of different colors to express the activity of the Olympic movement and represent the union of the 5 continents and the meeting of the athletes from throughout the world at the Olympic Games. There is a lingering belief that the rings themselves correspond to the 7 continents, which I think is what Greg was talking about. But we're not going to include Antarctica in there because nobody loves you, Antarctica. You got to start doing better. That's right.
Or that other continent called Eurasia.
I think everybody loves Eurasia. I'm not sure. Are we nice to? We're pro Eurasia here, right?
I think so.
The colors were chosen because at the time, each flag in the world had at least one of those colors in their flag. So that's why there's the 5 colors there, which again were blue, black, red, orange, and green. But I would challenge anyone to think of a flag that doesn't have blue, black, red, orange, or green in it, right? So it's a little crazy. Like the Canadian flag has white and red, but it's got red in it, so that would count. Mm-hmm. All right.
I'm not
The
much of a
colors-
flagologist, so I don't really think I can think of anything.
Yeah, me either.
I'm not sure if the term is flagologist.
Yeah.
There are 6 official designs for the Olympic rings. They are monochromatic aside from the official one. And according to the FAQ section on Olympics.com, the monochrome Olympic rings provide an alternative to the full-color Olympic rings. The Olympic rings may appear in any of the 6 colors when necessary. So I just love that sometimes it's like it's necessary that we have the red one right now to make the key of time to keep the Balrog in Morgoth where it belongs.
Shall not pass!
And that's what the rings mean. and that's ad number 2.
Hi, with Pod Power, our sponsors are making it possible for us to amplify the voices of Albertans and Alberta podcasters. This episode, Edmonton Community Foundation is helping us give a Pod Power shout out to Bookwomen, Bookwomen is a podcast about editing, publishing, and writing Indigenous stories. 3 Métis librarians representing nations from across the homeland aim to inspire Indigenous people to share their stories in whatever form that they enjoy. Guests include Indigenous storytellers from diverse mediums like podcasting, burlesque, books, comics, social media, films, music, and everything in between. You can listen and find out more at bookwomenpodcast.ca. Bye.
Whew.
Okay, good times. Here we go. Subject number 3. This is a Russian moment of Greg with Greg.
Moments of Greg.
Okay, everybody. Today we're going to learn about how the USSR took a dive in the 1980 Olympic hockey game. It was a medal game against the United States, also known as the Miracle on Ice. So this is pretty huge. Like, it was back in the day. And when I say back in the day, I mean like Cold War era, United States versus Russia. You know, like, we couldn't beat each other in the space race, but we're gonna beat each other on ground. You know, with a water over top that frozen and a rubber thing that we can slap at each other's faces, but nobody ever did. But yeah, apparently the USSR took a dive in the 1980 Olympic hockey game against the United States. And I am going to tell you a little bit about it because I was not alive during that time, because apparently, 2004.
2004, late 2004.
Yeah, I don't even know who Britney Spears is. So the theory goes as is: the U.S. and the Soviet tensions, or the tensions are running high in the 1980s. Rumors began to circulate that President Jimmy Carter, apparently a really nice guy, Jimmy Carter, was seriously considering an American boycott of the 19 Summer Games in Moscow, which I believe he did anyway.
They did do it, yep.
Concerned that a lack of U.S. participation would lower interest in the Moscow Games, the USSR hockey team was told to throw their medal game around against the United States. So if they'd have won this game, they'd have won the gold medal. But they were told to throw that game, hoping that the Americans' thrill from the victory would lessen their hatred for the USSR and stop the boycott, which would mean that they got the ratings that they wanted, and a little bit more money here and there, and a little more people would be interested in what's going on in the USSR than the US of A, and yada, yada, yada. The USSR was the world's greatest hockey team. They proved their worth by winning the Challenge Cup in 1979, where they defeated a Canadian all-star team, not a bunch of inexperienced college kids. While the U.S. just squeaked by with a 4-3 victory in the Olympics, the young American team didn't show that level of talent against the Russians just days earlier. So, literally days earlier, they lost a game to the United States where they, lost 10-3. They just got their asses 10-3. Yeah, they weren't the team to beat at that point in time. But some very questionable coaching decisions during the match. The Miracle on Ice came also cast doubt on the Russians team's authenticity. After the first period, Russian coach Viktor Tikhonov removed the world's greatest goaltender, Vladislav Tretiak, from the game. A completely unexpected decision which shocked both teams. Also, the Russians violated fundamental hockey strategy by not pulling their goaltender in the final minutes. Down 1 goal with only a few minutes to play, the USSR chose to leave goaltender Tretiak in the game instead of substituting him for another attacker, which would have given the Russians a much greater chance to tie the game. And if you're an Edmonton Oilers fan, there was a few years ago where the Anaheim Ducks kind of did the exact same thing, but instead of scoring a goal, they just sat on their goalie and then scored a goal, and then the refs were like, "Hey, man, that's a goal," and we just got screwed. So I just want that to be out there as well. So
That was a painful game.
Yeah. Andrew feels what I'm saying. Basically, at the end of this, obviously the Americans did not go to the summer games. But at the end of the day, they basically took their entire national team off the ice and put their weaker team on there, their backups, to play against a bunch of college students and guys who had never played at a professional level at that time and got their butts whooped. And that's the Russians in the Olympics back in 19-something.
1980. All right. Subject number 4, the ancient Japanese curse. Ooh. Now, this isn't particularly ancient, so just a heads up on that. So okay.
Wait,
now,
you just said it was.
I know. Well, it's ancient.
All curses are ancient, man.
Mm-hmm. Thursday, March 19th, 2020, Taro Aso, the Deputy Prime Minister of Japan, made headlines around the world when he publicly stated that the Tokyo Olympics are cursed. And this was in response to the postponement / cancellation of the games, of the Olympic Games, due to that whole pesky global pandemic thing. Did you guys hear about COVID? Did you guys hear about the coronavirus?
When did that happen?
When did they come up?
I know, yeah. Aso went on to point out that this is far from the first problematic Olympic event for Tokyo. In 1940, and this is the ancient part of it, all the way back, fire up the Wayback Machine to 1940. The city had been selected to host both the Summer and Winter Olympics, and the Olympics were called off that year because of the Second World War II. And then 40 years later, 1980, the Olympics, as Greg was just talking about, are in Moscow, another city, or really another country with a very problematic Olympic relationship. The Russians in the Olympics, it's crazy. Anyways, there are a number of countries, including Japan, the US, and China, decided to boycott the event in protest of the Soviet Union's invasion of Afghanistan and basically the Cold War just escalating. So that means in 1940 it was canceled, 1980 they didn't get to participate, and then 2020 they had to postpone the Olympics. In a previous episode, we discussed how the number 4, if you say the number 4 in Japanese, it's shi, which is also the word for death. Death. So I was thinking, and a number of Asian cultures, the number 4 is unlucky. And I had hoped that the number 40 would be like 10 times unluckier.
Super death.
A friend of mine living in Japan, he's like, no, man, there's no stigma around the number 40. That wouldn't be true to say that. And I'm like, are you sure it's not 10 times more unlucky? And he's like, no, it's nothing. So anyways.
What about 44?
Oh, 44 would be 11 times more unluckier.
Did you ask him about a 44? Like
I didn't ask him
he
about
was
44.
obviously trying to protect you from something.
He's like, just 4. Just 4.
Yeah, he
and then
obviously
he told me
was trying to
shut up.
protect you.
Don't look any deeper.
He now the big thing here is that even though the Olympics were postponed, the ancient torch event in, I don't know if it's Hera or Era in Greece, where they get the ladies to dress up as Greek goddesses, that actually still happened last year. So it was still held in Greece, and an important Japanese humanitarian by the name of Naoko Imoto was selected to bring the torch to Japan, where it has stayed lit this entire time, waiting for the triumphant 2020 Olympics to start in 2021. So maybe they're still being called the 2020 Olympics, even though it'll be like the Euro Cup or whatever, where it's like, we won in 21, but it's 2020. Yeah. So that's the ancient Japanese curse from 1940. High fives.
Woo!
It is lit AF.
All right then, champions. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We're all winners for being friends and making special relationships in our hearts. The gold medals are the friends we made along the way. Isn't that nice? We will be back in August, but if you need some It's a Conspiracy chuckles in the meantime, then please check out all of our past casts and social media stuff at itsaconspiracypodcast.com. And we'll see you soon. Take care and good luck in the Olympics from wherever you're from. I hope you win all of the sports.
Big time.
Big money, no whammies. Bye.
See you never.
It's a conspiracy!
What the hell was that?